Well, good afternoon, everybody. From backstage, I could hear all the brain cogs grinding as to what's this group doing together. So that's what today's all about. Hi, I'm Lee Diffie from NBC Sports, and we're going to have some fun, some excitement today as we welcome you to the 70th running of the Mobil 12 Hours of Sebring here in the temporary Gallery of Legends. We thank everyone for their hard work for getting these cars in here for this very special occasion. It's an announcement. It's the beginning of something really, really special and a whole lot of fun. And as you know, over the decades, Sebring has been its own unique event. It's been the longest standing running endurance sports car event in the United States. But it's also been a traditional lead up to the 24 Hours of Le Mans, a really good hard hit out before all the teams head off to France. And that is particularly pertinent and poignant for today and the group that we have assembled, these crucial participants and key members for what today is all about. Let's kick it off. And if you join me welcoming Steve Phelps, President of NASCAR. Round of applause for Steve. For the Chairman, CEO of NASCAR and Chairman of IMSA, Mr. Jim France. For Rick Hendrick, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports. Jim Campbell, the US Vice President of Chevrolet Performance and Motorsports. Welcome, Jim.
Thanks.
Stu Grant, the General Manager of Global Racing Tyres for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Stu, welcome. Mr. Pierre Fillon, the President of the ACO, the Automobile Club de l'Ouest. Welcome. Big weekend. And of course, President of IMSA, Mr. John Doonan. John, welcome.
Thank you, Lee.
All right, are we ready to let the genie out of the bottle? You know, our sport is maybe one of the worst for keeping secrets, but for those in the know, they've done very well at keeping their lips nice and tight. So I'm going to draw your attention to the video screens here in the room, and here it is. This is what today is all about.
America's bicentennial. The rumble of stock car racing reverberated through the South and beyond. The likes of Richard Petty and David Pearson captivated the national audience. But NASCAR founder Bill France Sr. had a vision to take NASCAR beyond its grassroots beginnings and on to the global motorsport stage. The Daytona 500 and Daytona 24 Hour were well on their way to prominence as marquee events worldwide, joining the likes of the Indianapolis 500 and Monaco Grand Prix. But since 1923, one event was the jewel of the international motorsports calendar, the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
One of the world's most famous races.
An ultimate test of endurance.
A grueling, twice-around-the-clock trial of man and machine on a transmission-taxing, tire-testing, 8-mile course woven through the French countryside. The world's best competing with pristine equipment, infused with new technology to see who can claim the ultimate bragging rights against their competitors, and the track. Bill France appreciated the appeal of sports car racing and the international recognition it received. With a desire to increase American participation in the prestigious endurance race, France worked with Le Mans organizers in 1976 to create the Grand International class for the 44th running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. June 12, 1976. The monstrous muscle of Detroit joined the compact power of sports cars and the deep echo of NASCAR stock cars rumbling down the Mulsanne Straight on formidable Goodyear tires, turned heads and captivated hearts. Now, nearly a half-century later, NASCAR is planning to return to Le Mans, the opportunity of a lifetime to compete at one of the most senior motorsports marquee events. And what better partners to join NASCAR on that journey than Hendrick Motorsports, Chevrolet, and Goodyear. With the most NASCAR Cup Series wins and the most championships, Hendrick Motorsports is the most successful and winningest team in NASCAR history. addition to being the winningest manufacturer and all-time leader in NASCAR Cup Series race wins, Chevrolet has a legacy of success at Le Mans and across the sports car racing universe with the Corvette. With a multi-decade-long partnership since 1954, built on competition and shared passion to deliver compelling racing through innovation, Goodyear is the winningest tire in NASCAR and has amassed 14 overall wins at Le Mans. Hendrick Motorsports, Chevrolet, and Goodyear are the ideal organizations to represent the best of American racing on the world stage. It's time to add to that legacy with the global debut of the next generation of stock car racing. An opportunity for a Hendrick Motorsports Chevy Camaro on Goodyear tires to be put to the ultimate test of human and machine, against the clock and against the track. Innovative, best-in-class technology woven with sports car and stock car history, designed to excel on track in the future and beyond. NASCAR, Hendrick Motorsports, Chevrolet, and Goodyear. Let's show the world what we're made of. This is Garage 56.
This is going to be a fun ride. Yes, there's going to be a lot of work, a tremendous amount of work, but it's going to be a fun ride because it's something different. Has it been done before? Yes, Jim's father did it, but here we go in the modern era, almost 50 years apart from the last time that it was done. So as we know in the Cup Series, the next generation car has created and stimulated a lot of interest, a lot of excitement with the coupe-like design. You know, it's sleek, it's more like its road-going counterparts. So now it's ready to take the next step, and it really is a big step. I know that there's many of you in this room who have been to Le Mans. For those of you who haven't, there is nothing like it. I was just talking with Chad Knaus before, and he went last June for the first time. Was blown away. Couldn't believe it. There is nothing else on the planet quite like Le Mans. I went there 12 times, had the fortune of calling it 10 years in a row, and it seems to surprise you each and every time with how much it evolves, how much it changes. But the one thing that never changes is the task at hand. And it's quite daunting. So, with that being said, NASCAR has collaborated with, as we said, the 14-time champions, Hendrick Motorsports, to form what is a super team of partners with Chevrolet, with Goodyear, with the ACO, with IMSA, to say, all right, let's attack this, let's create something special, not only for us and for NASCAR, but for the motor racing world as well. So, it will be Garage 56, and Monsieur Fillon, as you are about almost to celebrate your 10th year as president of the ACO, Garage 56 is also celebrating 10 years, and Garage 56 is a special project. Every year that slot and that garage is allocated for a different initiative, something, and we've seen many different ones over the years, haven't we? I remember when we had the diesel-powered prototype, we had the Delta Wing, we had so many different types of cars, and that's what this is all about. It's something different to entertain sports car and racing enthusiasts all over the world. So, Jim France, with that being said, what's the motivation? What's the motivation behind this? Because I haven't seen you this giddy and this excited in quite a while. So give us what the driver is.
Well, it's been almost 50 years since my father took NASCAR over to Le Mans. I remember when Dick Brooks came back, he was one of the drivers. I asked him what his thoughts were on it. He said, number one, he said the fans loved the car. Number two, it was a fantastic experience. And number three, it was a hell of a challenge. So you can look at the folks at this table. They all like big challenges, good experiences, and really we want to expose Pierre's great fan base to our NASCAR cars and drivers. So it was an opportunity. I talked to Pierre when he had the Garage 56 if there was a possibility that we could bring our new car over, and he said he would work on it. We got together last August. He said that he could try and make that happen for us. I talked to Rick along the way about if it would be something that he would be interested in doing. He's our champion team, winningest team in our Cup Series, and I felt like that it would be very, very important if he would represent our sport in this big event. So I'm thrilled to say we're sitting up here together. And
It's great. It's really great. And further evidence, too, of, Steve, you know, NASCAR, Daytona, Le Mans, IMSA, you know, coming together in a more collaborative effort. For you, you know, heading up NASCAR, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to NASCAR? You're always looking at new and different ways to spread the message in the fan base. So what does it mean for NASCAR?
Yeah, thank you, Lee. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a huge opportunity for us. I think if you think about where NASCAR is and the momentum we had in 20 and 21, but for those of you who've been at the racetrack in 22, there's a new sense of energy and enthusiasm to the sport that the sport hasn't had in a long, long time, as evidenced by what happened at the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. The centerpiece of that wasn't just that amazing venue, it was the next-gen car. And if you think about the racing that we have seen with the next-gen car in these 5 races, there's something special that's happening here. So we are, as a sport, we're trying to look at things that are unique and different and put us apart. Sorry about that. And I think that's exactly what we're doing. That's what this opportunity is. We have a series in Europe called the Whelen Euro Series. We know there's some enthusiasm for NASCAR, you know, stock car racing. But this is going to take it to a new level, right? To Jim's point, this has been 50 years now in the making to come back with this project. And we're excited to partner with Rick Hendrick and his organization and Chevy and Goodyear, and to have NASCAR come back to Le Mans.
Rick, I know traveling down here with you today, you said it's very complimentary for NASCAR wanting to collaborate and work with Hendrick Motorsports. You've done so much over your career and the team's career. If you look at it like that, you've got the last 2 champions in Cup. You've won 2 of the 4 races this year. So much going on. Why take on a project like this? What's your drive? What's the determination and inspiration behind this?
Well, number one, it's an honor for Jim to ask me about doing this. And, you know, to be able to go to Le Mans, I never dreamed I'd go to Daytona. And so to be able to go represent NASCAR there, it's such a unique and, you know, the kind of epitome of racing. It's just going to be exciting for us, and to partner with Chevrolet and Goodyear and NASCAR. Our guys are fired up. We want to go represent our sport. We're in a class by ourselves, but we want to compete and put the ultimate piece out there to represent NASCAR. So to me, it's an honor. It's something that I never thought I'd have an opportunity to do. Our organization's excited, and we plan to go show off our sport. So it's going to be an exciting time. Jim and I started talking about this in I think November 20, and so it's real today. So we're just really excited and honored to be able to go do this.
Thanks for underscoring that really was a well-kept secret. Jim, for you, so much success in NASCAR competition, for Chevrolet, over 800 victories and manufacturer titles, etc., but also at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I mean, having been there myself, seeing those bright yellow Corvette racing cars and the enthusiasm that it attracts, the passion, not only from the French fans, all European fans. I mean, Chevrolet has such a special place in the fans' hearts over there. Is this for you guys to go back and experience it on a broader scale and kind of almost twofold?
Yeah, it's going to be so special, and we were really honored when Jim and Rick came to us and asked us to be part of it as a team, along with Goodyear, and working with Pierre on this very special Garage 56 opportunity. And you know, Chevy has a long history in racing. We love it. We love racing. We love performance, and a long history in NASCAR. We're proud of that and our success there. But also, we've had a great run in sports car racing with IMSA, and obviously very special at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So when I think about racing, the Daytona 500, the Rolex 24 Hours at Daytona, the 12 Hours of Sebring, this is such an amazing place, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and to kind of take the partners from all those different series and come in as one team in Garage 56, which is so special. It's going to be really fun to take this challenge on and take the next-gen Camaro ZL1 with Rick and Stu and the team to Le Mans and go for 24 hours. We have had a chance to race a Corvette in a factory format since 2000. About 21 times we raced, and we've won our Class 8 times. So we'll bring to this effort, our experience and knowledge of what we say it takes from our experience on Corvette to not only, get there and compete and run and finish a race, but have a chance to, really perform at the level that you expect. So we can't wait. We're really proud to be part of the effort, and thanks for having us.
And Stu, you've kind of got to, maybe not the end, but you've got to a very good point in the project with the 18-inch tyre for the next-gen car. So that was a big hurdle to get over and a big program, big project. So you have some energy left to take on this project?
I'll tell you what, there can't be a better team of partners than the people at this table. So we're, as Rick and Jim both said, everybody at Goodyear is honored to be a part of this program. So as far as the 18-inch go, that has been a big challenge for us, certainly, no doubt about it. 2.5 year project for us, but I have to say the product, we're a couple of races into the schedule, and the product performance that I've seen, I'm really, really pleased with. So having said that, it's still a work in progress because it's racing, right? NASCAR is going to make changes. The teams are always making changes, and we'll be making changes to keep up. So everybody's learning and everybody's improving, with the NASCAR program. Now, as far as the Le Mans goes, Goodyear's got a lot of heritage at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, one of the most prestigious motorsports events in the world. We've won the overall, had the overall win a few times, and of course we're involved in the LMP2, but we've never been involved in a Garage 56 program, and it's right up our alley. We're super excited about it and can't wait to get started.
Keep in mind that the ACO, the Automobile Club de l'Ouest, has been running Le Mans since 1923. Pierre Fillon is the president of that. Pierre, if you would explain or detail how excited you are about this project. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't know what Garage 56 is, so I'll let you elaborate on that.
Yeah, thank you. This announcement is a great news, especially in this year. We are celebrating many anniversaries. And it's exactly 10 years we introduced the Garage 56 in Le Mans. What is Garage 56? Garage 56 is a car dedicated to innovative. This is the only car, no point, is not in the championship, but we need something innovative. And when Jim told me there will be a new generation of cars in NASCAR with using an hybrid system, and he had this crazy idea to enter this car as a garage seconds in 2023, I was immediately enthusiastic. I think this new generation of NASCAR car with the hybrid system is innovative, and this is the future of NASCAR. This car will bring some wonderful memories to the fans. Remember 1976 and 1982 with two Camaro on the starting. And finally, this is another big symbol of the strong partnership we have with Jim and between Le Mans and Daytona. 2023 will be the centenary of Le Mans. We will have the most prestigious brand manufacturer in Le Mans. And thank you for the convergence we did together. This is a great achievement. At least we have to convince the selection committee in 2023, but I'm sure with a high-level team behind this project, you will take up this challenge. So I'm very confident.
And Pierre brings up a good point. We should mention it is the intention of this group to race at Le Mans next year. The invitations don't officially come out until January. And Pierre also brings up another pertinent point. That is that for those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't, Garage 56, you're not racing anybody. You are in your own unique class, and it offers that showcase to highlight, the innovation, to your point, that you are bringing to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Maybe have you kept this secret the best?
I've tried.
John Doonan, what does this mean to IMSA?
Well, last August, we had the opportunity to be with Pierre, Jim, myself, Ed Bennett, and we were able to announce a 10-year extension on our strategic alliance agreement between IMSA and the ACO. That was a proud moment because I think it says exactly what we've been trying to do all these years, and that's collaboration, and find a way for manufacturers to use the same car here in IMSA as well as in Le Mans and the World Endurance Championship. Manufacturers, partners, to be able to come together and celebrate and do what's right for our sport. And today is another step for me in this process of collaboration and in doing the best to put both NASCAR in front of a tremendous audience at Le Mans, and I think vice versa. Our NASCAR fans are very passionate and very loyal, and for them to be able to experience endurance sports car racing, the ultimate test of human and machine, is pretty incredible.
So let's do a time check. We've got a good 10 minutes here for Q&A. So we've got a couple of mics. Nate's got one. If you'd like to ask the group any questions, I'm sure, there we go, Nate, straight away, straight up.
Mike Hembry from Auto Week. Jim, obviously there are questions about drivers. Can you see a situation where you would have a 2023 Cup schedule where Cup drivers would be available to go over and do this?
Jim, talk to Steve on that.
I think, Mike, we would have to figure out what it would look like, obviously, from a scheduling standpoint. You know, the good news is we're not here to talk about announcing drivers, and obviously that will be Rick and his team to try to figure out where that would be. From a scheduling standpoint, nothing's been determined at this point.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Okay, I'll try with Rick then. Any clues on who might be driving this car? And if active Cup drivers are allowed, would you like to put active Cup drivers in if it doesn't have a schedule conflict?
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have a mix. I think we've talked about it a lot, and if the calendar works out, and you know, we'll just wait and see what's available. But we've got, from the IMSA drivers and a lot of drivers that have Le Mans experience, we've got we're going to, and especially with Chevrolet's involvement, we'll be covered with drivers. But we would like to see a Cup driver in the system if we could.
Is Jimmy Johnson on your list, and will this be an ally car?
Well, we're going to put Gordon on a diet and get Jimmy back.
Is that a yes for Jimmy?
I haven't talked to Jimmy yet, but I'm sure he would do it if he didn't have a conflict.
And I just have one about the car. I'm not sure who'd be best to answer this, but Garage 56 traditionally has been, you know, like alternate propulsion type stuff with, like, you know, biofuels and hydrogen electrification. Will this car have some elements of hybridization or electrification? Is that sort of the expectation? Or?
Yeah, I'd be happy to take that one on. At the moment, like drivers, we're going to have an opportunity to talk about the exact specs of the car down the road here. What Steve Phelps, what Steve O'Donnell, what John Probst and everybody has done with the next-gen car, it provides tremendous versatility, not only for the manufacturers with all the branding, that specifically in this case the team at Chevy and their design team have done. But we'll talk about specs and engines and all the dimensions of the car here in the coming weeks and months. A lot of work to be done yet.
This is the excitement that we anticipated, right? Who's driving
Exactly.
it? What's going to be powering it? What's happening? Go ahead, Gary. Oh, is it Bob? Sorry.
Bob Parkhurst, Fox Sports. I guess this would be for Steve. You have rules against testing and everything, so will this car be different enough that Hendrick won't be seen as getting an advantage, and or, you know, how would you work through that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Bob. I think, you know, obviously we don't want to have one team have an advantage over another team, so that's something we'd have to look at for sure. To John's point, not sure what the power plant's going to be, not sure, you know, a lot of different things that need to be ironed out in the coming weeks and months. But, you know, I think that obviously having one team have some type of advantage over another is not something we'd be interested in having.
Just to follow up on the earlier question about the technology, sorry to push it. Would Le Mans next year be a good chance to sort of test the hybrid system that's coming in 24 in one of the most grueling environments possible? Would it just be too good an opportunity to turn down?
I'd be happy to take a stab at that as well. Le Mans and events like the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and certainly what's going to happen here tomorrow with the World Endurance Championship race, and what's going to happen on Saturday with the 12-hour race. These events are absolutely a place to test man, woman, and machine. The technology, whether it's powertrain, whether it's new fuels, whether it's tires, whether it's potential hybrids and things like that. So there's no question that these events are laboratories for the auto industry. And I think over the course of time, there's been innovations that have been tested at the racetrack that end up being in road cars. And Jim and his team at Chevrolet have been a shining example of that over the years, specifically with the Corvette, I'd say. Obviously others too, but that Corvette has been an absolute laboratory for road car.
Rick, it's my broadcast partner, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the line. Did you want to take that?
Yeah.
Jenna.
Thanks. I don't know if this is for Jim or John. Could there be a next-gen class at Daytona someday? Any discussions?
What do you think, guys? Should we do that?
Well, we know everybody there. We could probably work something out.
Yeah, next gen class at Daytona. We'll see, Jenna.
Rick, do you have a group of people dedicated to this project already, and do you have some kind of estimate on the cost of this thing?
It's going to be expensive. I know that. No, Chad Canals will kind of be the team manager. I guess that's the term, not the crew chief. But we are going to bring in some additional people. Chevrolet's got some folks. We're assembling all of that right now. We don't want it to interfere with the Cup program we have going on, but we do have a lot of folks there that know how to do. We're not building chassis anymore, and so we've got a lot of extra folks, and Chad and Jeff Andrews are, along with Jim Campbell and his group, we're assembling the team now, and so we're excited about it, and we want to put our best effort forward. So the good news about being this group of people, and with John with IMSA, we can cherry pick a lot of really talented people to put on this project, and we've already started.
John DeGay, Sports Car 365. For Jim Campbell, Corvette's future at Le Mans is a little bit uncertain because the GTE Pro class is ending, we believe, in 23. Could this potentially be a temporary replacement for Corvette racing at Le Mans, or are you expecting this to be a parallel program?
Yeah, it's a good question. We will, if we get the invitation here for Garage 56, which we're hopeful of, we will be all in to make sure that we represent NASCAR, the Camaro, Hendrick, Goodyear to the best degree possible. It'll be a great moment for all of us. In terms of Corvette, we're working with Pierre and his team on exactly what's going to happen in GTE. If it's only amateur, that gives us an option. We're obviously building committed to build a GT3. We're in that process right now. And then of course our sister brand Cadillac will we hope to earn an invitation for the hypercar class or what we call GTP here in IMSA. So from our perspective, we'll have a lot of areas of focus at Le Mans in 23. Cadillac will be in the top class. Corvette potentially will decide what we do in the GT Am with GT3, and obviously this Garage 56, if the invitation comes through, it'll be a great moment for Chevrolet and for our company overall.
Thank you, Alex Andreev with the Charlotte Observer. This is a question, I guess, for both Jims. But, I don't think that either car in 76 made it halfway through the race. So I'm curious, I know that, you're not really competing, you're in a class of your own, but what might be a competitive or success metric for what this car could do?
Well, from my perspective, and I think Rick can give you his here in a minute also, but the goal is to finish the race and not be last.
we're not taking this lightly. This is a full-blown effort to run 24 hours and to run competitive times. And so our guys are working aero, weight, horsepower, and we're looking at different classes. They've told us kind of where we'd like to be, but we're not going over that right around. We're going to put the best effort out there and run very competitively and finish a race. So that's a tall order, but I feel strongly that we can do it.
Yeah, I would just add that the experience we have at going to Le Mans with Corvette as an example, but also our experience in IMSA with both Cadillac and Corvette. Preparation is everything, and so we will be all in preparing as a team to run the 24 hours, and that'll be the focus. And we'll bring our experience in both IMSA and also running at the 24 Hours of Le Mans with Corvette to bear on that as we prepare. So we've been through the process many times. We've learned the things we need to do and things we don't need to do. So we'll bring our best thinking and experience to the table here.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. One for Jim and then one for Rick and Jim. Jim, when you announced the LMDH convergence a couple of years ago at Daytona, you were very eloquent about your vision about how that kind of brings back the Ford versus Ferrari era. How does this project dovetail with that, with bringing American IMSA teams back to France in 2023?
Well, I think, and I go back to what my father was trying to accomplish 50 years ago. It's an opportunity for NASCAR to for a lot of European fans and that are Le Mans fans to experience what our NASCAR racing is like firsthand, watching the cars go around the track. And so from my perspective, we've got IMSA and sports cars, but we also have a very important process for NASCAR and growing its awareness and relevance internationally. As Steve said, we're doing a lot of different things. This happens to be something that my father envisioned 50 years ago, and it is still important today.
And for Rick and Jim, I don't know if either of you guys know the answer to this, but a couple of nuts and bolts questions. What's the longest run by a next-gen car continuously in terms of laps or hours made? Have you guys done any real-world testing to that effect?
Well, we've only run, 4 races with that car, but I've been involved with the Ally car that ran the 24 hours 2 years now, and so Gary Nelson and Chad have worked together and running both of those cars. And we kind of have the experience of 24 hours. And I actually ran the Corvette back in '87. We didn't finish, but we sat on the pole. But no, I think the endurance part of it, we're going to have to work on it. We're going to have to figure out a way to test. I guess I'll just talk to Mr. France. I'm not. But no, seriously, we can run the engines at 24 hours and see what happens there. And we know it's going to be different, but we know that the transaxle will take it, and because that's been run, and so there's a lot of components that have time. So I feel like we can do that and do it in a very good way.
Can you do a full? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add that, and Rick's team definitely understands this 24-hour races with the Ally car, and one of the things that we do together, in the effort that Rick was talking about in the DPI class, but also that we do across all of our series, and that's a massive amount of simulation. We take all the very best data. This happens in our engineering shop with Mark Stilo and Jim Danahy and Eric Warren. Our whole team will work with everybody here, getting Stu's tire data. We will simulate exactly what we think has to happen to perform at the levels that both Rick and Jim talked about, and to have the durability you need to survive that race. And so I will say that'll be another big tool for all of us.
Can you do a full brake change on a next-gen car during a 24-hour race?
Well, yeah, clearly, the 24-hour race, that is something that will happen. You're going to have driver changes, as Gary Nelson and I were talking about previously. Driver changes, as we do at races like the 12 Hours of Sebring, 24 Hours of Daytona. We'll do the same thing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We'll do brake changes, and no question, that will definitely happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that? You know what, that has not been decided yet, but that's one of the things the work group is, will be working on, exactly that piece of it, yeah.
Rick, you've mentioned, right here. Rick, you've mentioned that, you're involved a little bit with Action Express right now on the DPI front. Could you ever see that increasing from a Hendrick Motorsports standpoint in sports car racing?
Well, we I think I'm getting pushed over here a little bit, but we really enjoy it. Our company enjoys it, and I can see us expanding, doing more of that. So, this is a big step for us, but I've really enjoyed the Cadillac program, and it's good to see those guys win the championship and see what we can do here this weekend. So, as I said, I've been in the sports car racing business, but it's been a long time ago. But our focus is still the Cup. I mean, that's where we compete, and we want to continue to win championships and races. But big Corvette dealer, I love the sports cars. So we'll see how it develops, but I have a passion for it.
And Nate, I think maybe one more. Bob, yeah, go for it.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. I know, Rick, you work with ECR now as far as engine collaboration. ECR has a long history in the Rolex. So will they be involved? Will it be kind of a joint effort as far as the power plant?
We have been everything we do and they do, we do together. So that will be something that we'll be working on together.
That's great. Jenna, last one. Lucky last. Go.
Jim, you've mentioned your father a lot today. I hate the hypotheticals. What would your father think about this? But, the next gen's been really good for the first month, and now you've put this together. What does it mean to you, and are you doing this, to honor your father in a way?
Well, I think that the best way to describe this is I'm doing it probably as my father was and my brother as a racer. I think everybody sitting at this table is a racer, and we like challenges. It's a tremendous opportunity for the sport that my dad started to further its reach with other fans and new fans. And I'm also very much into the sports car racing and road racing as Dad was. So there's no way that I can honor my dad. He was so much farther ahead than what I am. But to try and carry on some of his legacy and continue what he and my mom started, it's our family business, and we're looking forward to continuing to grow it.
And on behalf of everybody here on the panel, thank you for your attendance. I think it's another example to underscore, this is our sport. We've lived through the highs and lows, some ordinary days, some dark days, but some really good days. I want you to remember what a start to the racing season this has been. From the Daytona 500, from the Rolex 24, we saw the biggest ever Supercross crowd at Daytona a few weeks ago. What's happened in IndyCar. WEC kicks off this weekend. Formula One kicks off this weekend. I mean, there's been so many good. The Daytona 200 last week was off the charts. American Flat Track. There's been so many good things happen in our sport this year, and this is yet another example. So if you would, one more time, please thank the panel and the partners. This is going to be a fun ride.
Thank you.